Dude. What's going on? How's it going? I'm back in action for another specifically wonderful episode of the Secret Restaurant Podcast, which you have been waiting for. You've been waiting for eagerly. Yeah, dude, but dude. I had some stuff I wanted to talk about because, like many things in my life, there are a lot of things that are really important to share. And if I don't share them with the people and they don't learn about these things, well, that could result in dire consequences. So first things first, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been uploading last holiday an audio, video, poetry book. Maybe 5 or 6 poems at a time. So you can find that on the page. It's been fun. I think you'll find it amusing as to how I recorded them. The book's like 270 pages. So I don't know if I'm going to do the same video for all of it. Also, I already did a portion of the book. I was making little animations. I don't know what just happened. Little animations that I either hand drew, or I was doing stuff with Word documents and taking screenshots. So I don't know if I'll re-record those. Kind of seems like those exist already as the animations, but there's like a soundtrack to those as well, like a musical kind of electronic thingy. So it's not really a pure audio book in that way. I hand drew Andrew. I hand draw and draw. I hand draw an androgynous Andrew. I hand draw androgyny and hand drew Andrew. I hand Andrew the hand drew drawing of androgyny. I don't know. I hand Andrew the hand-drawn drawing of... never mind. I saw today that there was an article posted, written... Well, it was published under the name of the Meta Gentleman. The Meta Human. It was in promotion of AI, because, Meta's really big on the AI thing. It's kind of funny. It's like, it was written by him about how great AI is going to be. It's like, well, did you actually write it? It even had his name. I mean, it's obvious, like, the brand is, people are going to draw attention to it if it's by him, but, like, if you're really promoting AI that much, like, did you just use AI? Probably. Maybe not. I don't know. Did he really write it? Either way, maybe he hired a ghostwriter. A real-life ghostwriter who then used AI without telling anyone. And they will pay for those sins later in life. They will go to hell. Those writers who use AI without telling people, actually, it is proven that they will indeed go to hell. I was trying to watch a movie. I went on Tubi. Movie on Tubi. After I hand drew Andrew, I went on Tubi for a movie. And I was trying to pick a movie, but sometimes I don't really want to watch anything that I've heard of before, or anything that was like popular, or anything with like actors that are famous now or stuff. And so I wanted to watch like a spaghetti western. Which, I mean, honestly, underrated. Spaghetti westerns are underrated. I probably watch like 2 or 3 really good ones a year. And so I was kind of feeling it. I was like, well, maybe it's time for another one. I didn't do any research, but it had a picture of Clint Eastwood on it. It said 1966. It was on Tubi for free. I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's check it out. And so I'm watching it. And then like it starts showing the characters. I'm like their mouths were like moving weird and their heads were kind of moving weird. And it was, spaghetti westerns are usually like dubbed. But this is like a different thing. It was like, they weren't moving like humans normally would move. It's like, it looked like the They were like kind of fading in and out. Remember in Boondocks, the early episodes of Boondocks, their animation sort of, I don't know if it's because they ran out of time or like they had the pilot, they were trying to get it done. They didn't have the same technologies, but in like the pilot, the characters, when they'd like move or turn their heads, they kind of did this thing where instead of the cartoons moving, it kind of faded sometimes. It was like that, but it was with real humans. And I was like, God damn it. Is this an AI movie? Because it's advertised with Clint Eastwood. I didn't see him show up because I turned it off. But and it says like 1966, but then there's like no trailer with it. And then I Googled the name of it and I couldn't find it online. It's like, did Tubi put an AI movie onto Tubi? Like, why? Why would they do that? I'll have to look up the name of it. Oh, it's just called Sartana. And so there's a series. I just looked it up. Yeah, I got a joke about that. But there's a series called Sartana, but none of them are actually just called that. And then the movie on there, that's all it was called. And then the second it starts showing people talking, they're all like moving like AI. And I'm like, is this seriously, like, did they make a fake 70s, it was like 1966 was the release date. Did they literally make an AI version of it? And then why would they do that? And then of course I like searched it. I'm like, is this movie made by AI? And then the answer is from AI. like Google AI answered. And then I tried to like rephrase it. I was like, does Tubi post AI movies? And they were like, no. Like AI answered, what? No, what? No, how could you even think that? Tubi would never have anything to do with AI movies. You can trust me. Just like you can trust Mark Zuckerberg to write his own article talking about the greatness of AI in general. Let's talk about the exact opposite of AI. An artist. A true, pure artist, which I discussed last episode by the name of Ty Segall. I've still been pretty much listening to him every day. I don't know why. I think it's like the hipster douchebag part of me, but whenever I talk about artists that I'm listening to, if I've been a fan of them for a long time, I always have to like explain myself, like I've been listening to them for like a long time. But I was like a diehard fan for a long time, and then there were like maybe five albums he dropped between now and the last time I listened to a full album, where like maybe I listened to the music videos or a few songs or whatever, but didn't sit down and listen to the whole album. So I've been playing catch up. This is how crazy. Okay, so one thing that's unique about him as a recording artist is that he does mostly record analog, which in other words, he records onto tape. He doesn't record into a computer, which is way more common even with huge bands. They mostly use computers. It's very rare to use analog and record onto tape. I think mostly out of convenience, but also just because it's challenging and because tape is expensive and all those reasons. But from listening to interviews of him, it seems like for the most part, he has stuck to analog his whole career, which is pretty badass. So being the psycho person that I am, I went through a moment where I had some blank cassettes that I've had since like COVID, because I impulsively bought cassettes during COVID because I had this idea I was going to like record stuff on them, and then I never did. So then over the past week, I started putting his early albums on cassettes and was like spinning them that way. And then I sort of obsessively started buying his vinyl again. I need to stop. I'm making a deal with myself because we talk about phone addiction as I hold my phone and speak to it all alone right now, and post a video that gets 20 streams between Spotify and YouTube. He's got one project that he released in 2019. I was thinking about saying my favorites, but it would be too challenging. I think if you just put his whole catalog on shuffle, it would be like shocking to hear how his sound is so wide ranging. And I've got my favorites. I've got the ones that I'm nostalgic for, but I'm just going to talk about one weird one that I just started listening to now. So it's called First Taste. First of all, the vinyl is crazy. I don't know if all the pressings are like this. It might have just been the early editions are this gatefold style, and then he started pressing it in just like a regular square pressing. So if you wanted to find out what I'm talking about, I would probably go on eBay. Oh, I didn't even finish my joke. I need to stop ordering stuff on my phone, because phone addiction, people always talk about social media, screen time. One of the most serious phone addiction things, actually, probably, is how easy it is to buy shit. And then you got access to all the labels. You can look at the labels with their shops. You can look at Bandcamp. You can look at eBay. And then you have like all these different places that you could find the best price, and you can order it just like sitting there. So I need to stop doing that. Oh, Discogs is a good one. If you go on Discogs, sorry, I'm going to ruin it for myself because now I'm spoiling the secret. But that, sometimes you can find great prices on Discogs, because that's like what a lot of like smaller record stores use, or smaller collectors use, as opposed to eBay. Sometimes the eBay prices are even more than like Amazon. It's kind of crazy. Even more than like the record stores that you go into. But yeah, I'm trying to stop buying things on my phone. I like order something the next day and be like, I'm an idiot. But I could just sell them, and I don't. I don't have actually that many albums. I probably have like, actually, I don't know, maybe like 150. But I listen to them like every single day. And like I don't go out and like buy rounds of shots at the bars, or like even if I go to a brewery, I'll get like a beer. So really, I'm not like going out partying. I could be burning way more money. But I'm gonna stop ordering stuff on my phone. But that being said, so this Ty Segall First Taste album released in 2019, the gatefold is like really weird. So people who don't collect records, the gatefold is like when it's like a book. And so it like opens up like a book basically. And those are not always the case. A lot of vinyl doesn't do that. And so when an album is a gatefold, it's actually pretty cool. And then there'll be like unique art or the lyrics or something on the inside of it. And then a lot of times it'll be like a double LP, or it'll just be one, but it's like got a cover page. An old copy of Black Sabbath Volume 4 actually has like a little newspaper book inside of it. Or I have other albums like that. I think Joanna Newsom, the album I have by her, has all the lyrics in this really cool book that you turn the pages. It looks like old timey. And then this other band I've talked about on the podcast, but they released their complete discography. Oh, now I'm forgetting their name. It's like a screamo band. It's that band that's named after a Miles Davis song. I can't remember their name right now. But anyway, this First Taste. Do you see how my mind is just firing on all cylinders? Just working through everything all at once in order to ensure that I make no sense at all. This First Taste vinyl, it's like a gatefold, but the way that it opens up, it's like, you know those posters, or those like cardboard things that in school you used to use for like the science fair? It's like or like for reports or whatever. It's like it opens up. It's like there's the two sides, and they open up like you know what I'm talking about, like a media cabinet that has the two doors, and you open both the doors. It's like the vinyl opens up like that, like two doors, instead of just opening up like a book. And so I thought that was sick, for starters. But the album is very strange, and even the first time I listened to it, I didn't really know what to think. There's something kind of odd about the sound of it. I was like, what is he doing? But then the songs were really catchy, and so you listen to it twice. You're like, oh, I like this song, I like that song. You know what I'm realizing? I think the best songs, or even art sometimes too, is like the best ones are like ones that are off-putting to people who have no experience with the artist or with the form of art. Like if someone's never heard this album, they put it on and be like, what are you listening to? And I kind of felt the same way, and then I kept listening to it, and I'm like, this is awesome. And then like 5 years from now, I'll probably be like, this makes total sense. But I'll tell you why it's so strange. I guess I read this later after having even had the vinyl, is that he didn't use guitars on it. Instead, he used various string instruments that he sometimes would plug through amps and sometimes would just play acoustically. But like the album as a whole, it presents itself as like like a rock album. But then once you realize that it's not actual guitars, you start to like pay attention to what all the sounds are, and there's really catchy songs and all that. So yeah, it's probably one of his strangest albums. Probably one of the top 3 strangest of his career. And yeah, I've been listening to a whole bunch of them I haven't heard before, so I'm not going to talk about them all at once, but still been on that kick. I wish he was touring in the States. I saw that, or he's playing in California, I think, and then he's going overseas. Basically, I went back and I saw he played in Chicago like a couple years ago, and then he actually played at First Ave this year. And I'm like, man, I need to get like a calendar of all my favorite artists and just see when they're playing somewhere. But yeah, last thing I'll say for this episode, because I'm sure I could talk. He has so many albums I could talk about him for the whole year. But I try not to compare him to Frank Zappa, because I mean I love Frank Zappa, but sometimes Frank Zappa is like it's almost like he's making fun of the people listening to him by like how bad he makes it sound. And I think there are certain aspects of Ty Segall's solo work that resemble Frank Zappa, but that sort of sarcastic aspect of it is nowhere to be found in Ty Segall's work. I don't see him as being sarcastic. Like Frank Zappa, it feels like, like I said, I love a lot of his songs and I listen to a lot of his albums. But a lot of the times it's kind of like, dude, like, you just think you're smarter than everybody and you're releasing like this trash to be like, screw you guys, basically. That's what it feels like. And then other times he'll have like a rock song that's like freaking sweet, or his jams. He was a great, great guitar player. His live albums are like super fun. So I don't want to hate on Frank Zappa. In fact, I have done a deep dive myself of his work. But the comparison between him and Ty Segall, I would say it's the prolific nature, and then B, kind of the way his albums work. It's like going from really catchy stuff to really weird stuff. So I have some thoughts about that concept in general. First and foremost, because he's a smaller artist as far as his label's independent. His streams, he has a few pretty decently streamed songs, but as a whole, his albums are kind of on the millions of streams, which there's a lot of artists who fall in that category. I think he's just like a tour warrior, and he puts out a lot of work, and his fans are diehard. So he's like a prolific artist. But I think one of the reasons that he's stayed relevant, or the reason that I've had this second wind of going back and thinking he's a genius and being like, oh my God, how have I not been listening to this, is like the way that his albums work. Aside from the newest one, Possession, which he's even been on record of being like, this was my attempt at a pop album. That album front to back, I could put that one on just with like friends hanging out and nobody would ask any questions. But like a lot of his albums, there are always moments where you're like, what the fuck is he doing? And I think the alternative to that, if you're releasing a project, for example, of songs, if you don't have the moments of like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I feel like it almost is bound to get stale. Like you can't release 17 albums of like, just like, this is the song. You have to have like the moments where it's like taking risks and like, I don't know, does that sound pretentious? It inspires me, and I think probably some of the stuff, even now, if I had heard it first, I don't know if I would have liked it, but now I like it because I like him as an artist. I trust him to do the things that he wants to do, and I'm going to take the journey with him. But then also I come to expect that he's not going to have like 9, 10 pop songs on every single album, and like every year he comes out with like 9 new pop songs. It's like, okay, let's check them out. It's more like, oh my God, what the fuck is he gonna do now? Which is like way more exciting. And I take inspiration from that, although I don't know how good at doing it I am. Buy the ticket, take the ride. Hunter S. Thompson. That's a great and also very overused quote of a man who very much lived that life. But I'm going to go live my life now. and perhaps you will see me gallivanting across the horizon like a bold nobleman, um, like a hipster douche, gallivanting across the horizon like a hipster douche, dressed like a nobleman. All right. Yep. Be sure to check out that audiobook I've been putting out because it's been fun and I'm proud of it. And maybe someday I'll be embarrassed about it, but right now I am not. And I'll talk to you guys at some point. Maybe in August. Maybe in August I will. Shut up, Nate.